Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So today we're going to do some top-down analysis. I'm going to basically show you how I do TDA and kind of what I look for. So this is euro dollar. So we're on the weekly at the minute. As you can see, we're making lower highs and lower lows. So if nothing's where you want it, is it? So you've got a lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we've broke this lower low. We are actually buying at the minute, but overall weekly we're looking for sells. But obviously you might be waiting, you might be waiting 8 weeks for a trade, and if you're anything like me, you want to get in the market. You know, we kind of get obsessed with having a trade on. So let's just remove that last one. So the last impulse that broke all this liquidity was this high here. So if we want to drop a horizontal on there, so that's the high that broke all this liquidity. And as you can see, those of you who know about supply and demand, that area has actually tapped in to a supply zone, pretty much 50% of that supply area, and it's sunk. So if you did get in on that sell and you've still got it rolling now, well, if you still got it rolling, you'd lost some profit, but you've got a good win out of it. But anyway, so that's been mitigated, which means we're still actually selling, but we're not bought into the discount area. So, and we know that we're actually now buying, because if I get the brush tool again, so you got lower high, slight lower low, lower high. We keep. It's probably not the best tool for this, but in fact, yeah, let's change tool, because in fact I'll probably just drop it. No, 2 seconds when I've no. I'm looking for a certain tool, but yeah, donut highlighter. So lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, it's not there, it's that one. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. It's actually there. Let's get rid of that one. Seems to be a bit slow today, just roll with me. And then lower low. And we've actually took this lower high with a higher high with this one here. So we're actually now in buys, but you got to know where you want to be buying from. So let's just get rid of all these dots everywhere. So we've got our range now. Our range is between these two white lines, and we know that we're actually buying into the weekly discount price. So your weekly discount price is I don't know why I'm going up there. So the high that broke all the liquidity, broke the latest low, is that. And this, we know it's changed around now on the weekly. So you want to be buying basically all the way up into this green area until you've got confirmation on sales. You may as well keep your buys until the trend has changed into sales, because this might just keep going through. It might just keep going through, keep mitigating, but then it might break and it might end up being weekly buys overall, which would turn into monthly buys. So enough of me waffling anyway. So let's get rid of this one. And obviously we want to be buying into this area. So ideally, you don't want to be selling just yet. So we drop down to the daily. And as you can see, we're making, so ignore everything to the left for now, because you know that we're actually in buys. So we're breaking structure all the time at the minute. So ideally, you don't want to be selling just yet. You can be making money selling, even in a buy market, but you want to kind of go with the trend as much as possible. Obviously, the weekly trend sells, but that you'll be waiting ages for that. The daily a bit more, so you may as well be buying with the daily. So let's drop down to the 4 hour, have a look at what we got. So this is a bit clearer. Hopefully most of you can understand what's what here. So we've been, everywhere's kind of getting mitigated, all these demand areas. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to lean down much on the camera. My receding hairline looks fucking shocking. Mind you, I'll be sorting that out next year anyway. So all these areas, these are all demand areas that are all getting mitigated, which means they're all getting the orders that are in there and they're flying away with them. And obviously the last break, we've got quite a bit of imbalance. So we've got imbalance, which means there's basically the wick hasn't penetrated this gap. It's just pure candle. So between there and here, that is imbalance. So this area, is it going to let me? No. So that area is, in fact, let's get rid of that because that's going to be confusing the shit out of me. I'll do a video based on imbalance, but those of you who know, it's basically between the wicked areas and the previous wicks before. That is a area that's not been penetrated. There's orders in that area. So, and you look here, just before the break, this break, you've got this lovely demand area. This is on the 4 hour as well. So you kind of, I mean, price might go and tap discount, weekly discount, which is this green area, and it might just sink. More than likely, it will sink a little bit, and then it will take that new high out because there'll be retail money above it, pretty much. So at the minute, our last break is basically this low. This is the lowest point that broke this high. So let's get that to the wick when it wants to work. And you love it when the computer goes slow when you need it to be fast as well. Probably a mixture of me as well, to be honest with you. I'm probably slow. I'm old. I'm slow. Just roll with it. So yeah. So by the looks of this, kind of, I know we've broke it and we've tapped into this area. We've wicked this demand zone a tiny bit. But what personally I'm seeing is this low and this low. That looks like a nice liquidity ready for a sweep. So let's get rid of this line. So we are still breaking to the upside, but obviously I wouldn't be selling. I wouldn't be trying. I do try and sell sometimes, so I can't kind of tell my grandma how to suck eggs. But we shouldn't be trying to sell in a buy market, because then you're just going against the trend for your time frame. And what's the point of making life hard for yourself? Because we're all in it for we're in life for an easy game in a way. Once you get past the trading stage where it's shit and it's emotional, when you get past that, it becomes easier and easier. So if you're in that stage, stick with it. Don't, if you're struggling, just refresh the charts, come back tomorrow. Trust me, you feel 100 times better. If you end up jumping in trades that you shouldn't be in, you'll fuck it and you'll feel worse. So just clear the charts, jump on it the next day or have a day off and come back the day after and just refresh your head and just, yes, you might lose that day, but who cares? In the long run, if you stick with it, you can't lose. Physically, you can't lose overall. If you stick with following your dreams, you can't lose if you just keep going. So yeah, anyway, that's me. That's my little motivation. So we've got all this liquidity here. We've got basically a trend line for you retail folks out there. That is a free touch trend line. We've tapped this, we've created a line, blah, blah, blah. All the same crap. Free touches, that looks like money. All I can see is money there. I used to see buys. Now I just see money. There's literally, where is the, let's do dollar signs because they look better than the British pound. There's literally, I don't want to go on the angle, but there's so much money under there. Retail bought, retail bought, retail bought. Yes, they're in profit at the minute, but at some point that is going to get took. So there's two options that what might happen here is, obviously, remember, the back of your mind, we want to be buying. So let's get our path tool. In fact, it's down here, it's easier to get. Right, so this might go up a little bit more. We want this to either break our trend line and take all this liquidity. We want it to break it. So it might actually break just below, and then it might start making higher highs from there. But our lower time confirmation, we will know when to get in for better chance. So that's one option. So let's just move that to the side. And the other option, which I'll do over here, so we don't, in fact, I'll do it in green. Oh, nah, what's a cool colour? Pink? Oh shit, no. Right, we'll do it and then we'll change the colour. Okay. Is it gonna work? Right. So this, I got the wrong tool. Fucking hell, what is wrong with you guy? Right, is this the right tool path? Right. So what might happen is, yeah, we go up a bit. I'll change the colour of this so it looks clearer in a minute. And we sink down. We go into the imbalance area. We take orders. We then, a lot of people will buy there, and I've done it myself, but I'm learning not to jump in too early. And then that will then get took out. We will then tap into this lovely demand area, and then we'll start making higher highs. And so as soon as we get these higher highs, and then higher low, higher high, and then we're on for a winner. But lower time confirmation will, let's get that yellow. There you are, it's a bit better. So that's two options that I think will happen. This is EURUSD, and this is the 4 hour. I don't normally look at the 4 hour. Well, for top-down analysis, I do, but I don't normally mark it. I look to see kind of breaks of structure, and then I'll drop down to like a 1 hour. So anyway, this video is going on a little longer than expected. Hopefully, most of you are still there. It'd be nice if some of you are still there listening to me drone on. But yeah, this is kind of two options that I'm expecting. But remember, this trend line has to be took out. It might go up, it might shoot up there now, and you don't get a chance to buy. But then you wait for your shift of bull orders to then bear orders. You wait for your chop, your change of character. You wait for your change of character on the daily, or you can wait on the weekly if you want. But the daily, you'll be able to find out early enough to start selling. But anyway, so that's the 4 hour. I won't actually drop down to the 1 hour just yet until I kind of start to see, because you could actually sell it into this demand area, but then that's more advanced. That's when you know exactly where your chock is, your change of character. When you know exactly where that is, then you can sell into buy areas to then buy into a sell area, and before you know it, you're doing both for the market. But it can get confusing, especially when you're starting off. You'll have loads of time when you do that. You try and do that too early, which I've done myself. Is you end up backtracking and thinking, shit, why am I selling when I should be buying at this area? So just remember the overall kind of, well, not the overall trend, because you could be waiting weeks, but the kind of the daily trend. I'd say always go with the daily trend personally. If you're a day trader, always go with the daily trend, ideally, until you get to know the changes of a character on the hourly and the 4 hourly. So yeah, I'm expecting this to take out that trend line, take all the liquidity, and then start making higher highs. And as soon as I see higher highs, I will then drop down to basically the hourly and the 10-minute and look for the change of character again, and then probably enter on the 1 minute or enter on the 10-minute, and then you can aim as high as you want. Don't necessarily set a take profit, but keep your eye on the reversal just in case. So when your buy order is in, if that kind of changes character on a higher time frame, then get out the trade, take your money, delete all the drawings, and start fresh on a different pair, or give it a day or two and then jump back on EU. Or if you see sells on the change of character, then set it up for a sells and start making money. But that's a little longer than I wanted. I know it's not a total breakdown. We've only done the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour, but most of you kind of enter off the 4 hour within the 15-minute. But obviously, for you guys, when this takes out your trend line and then it starts making a trend on the 15-minute, when that trend breaks into buys, then you can start looking for your entries. So anyway, I'd love to hear any comments, or obviously like, subscribe, follow my Instagram, which is @TheRuleOf7. But I want comments. You give me comments of content, what either you want to see more of, or I know a lot of people like seeing breakdowns, so I will have breakdowns of the trades I take on the channel. But just let me know, comment below, anything, even if it's just an emoji. But right, cool. I'll see you all on the next one.